Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and I welcome all of you back to another Bloodborne OST reaction video where, as we are nearing the very end of our journey through Yharnam and the Hunter's Nightmare, we now have to talk about certainly one of the most intriguing and yet kind of disturbed characters in the whole of Bloodborne, and that is Lady Maria. This was one of Gernam's students who died, and Gernam, driven by madness or just his whatever desires he had at the time, decided to animate an animatronic doll of sorts, specifically modeled after Lady Maria, and, well, you can sort of hazard a guess. Though it is kind of peculiar, considering that probably the doll that you interact with basically in the whole game, who levels you up through the exchange of blood echoes, is probably one of the only really nice and actual protagonist characters in the game you're sort of rooting for. Because she helps you out, even though she doesn't really have any critical agency, but she's just more than happy to help you out and to service Gernam as well as her hunter. So I'd say if I was also wanted to do maybe one of those morality sort of charts, probably the doll would probably rate as somewhere like neutral good, because again, without having any other agency apart from making sure we're looked after and making sure that Gernam's okay, she's definitely all right. I'm not entirely sure how well Lady Maria would probably take this, because literally the first time when you interact with her at this point in the Astral Clocktower, she grabs you, pulls you close, and tells you a corpse should be left well alone. And, well, it's from this point onwards that you basically have to fight her. I'm not entirely sure if I can remember off the top of my head if this is the fight immediately before you enter the fishing hamlet, but I'll probably have to play Bloodborne again to find that out. But the setting for this fight, however, is absolute peak as well. It's very similar to when you fight Sir Long in Dark Souls 2, where an entire clock face illuminates in the background and the light shines down on you. And before you even know what's happening, you are caught in a vicious duel between, well, basically the person you believe was helping you out the whole time. And, well, what do you do about it? Because even though it's not the same doll as the one you've been interacting with in the Hunter's Dream, it looks and sounds very much the same, but, well, then you get this whopper of a soundtrack on top of it. See, there she is. And just like with So Long, it's a beautifully done and very, very atmospheric duel to the death between, well, somebody who is already dead and somebody who is barely just keeping alive. In fact, for all we know, how do we know that numerous chunks of blood vials are not starting to have their impact on us already? In fact, it's probably a miracle that we've even got all the way to the Hunter's Nightmare and we are still theoretically in one piece. And there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. It's just... anyway, as I mentioned before, it is just one colossal, one... well, it's not really colossal. It's not even... It's probably one of the more honourable sort of fights you have in this game, because there are very few fights in Bloodborne where the fight is literally just between two relatively normal but powerful people. I mean, Lady Maria is one of like several hunters you do fight all the way through Bloodborne. But it's also worth remembering is that Lady Maria is only really at this point only as powerful as you, because her attacks are quite easy to be parried by using the gun, and it's very easy to get the visual strike off her. So I think like the actual challenge in this is and this is something that Bloodborne like does very, very well, is that it keeps bringing back the fact that it's not just about cheesing like R2 with the heavy attacks and then not using the gun at any point to get a parry off, but it's about doing a lot more than that. It's about remembering is that you're not just a Zweihander, two-hander spammer. Is that you are a hunter, and hunting means subduing, destroying, and going after people that you have been instructed to take down, without any real other critical agency apart from that's what we have to do to carry on progress in the game. Which is very interesting. Again, it makes you wonder, what exactly are we even doing? Why are we traveling all the way through the Hunter's Nightmare? What exactly are we after at the end of this? Are we going through this just to stop a nightmare? But at what point, when we destroy, when we're killing, slaying corpses, defeating former like members of the Healing Church, where does all of this like stop? Or what point are we just told that it's not going to go on for any longer? The perpetual nightmare is the knowledge that perhaps our job will never rest and there will always be more work to do. Well, now you could basically do what I do on YouTube and get the same sort of level of experience. But still, as I said before, there is work to be done. There is always more work. And with all that being said and done, I hope all of you guys enjoyed this reaction to the Lady Maria OST, and I cannot wait to see all of you guys again in the next video. Take care, and bye-bye for now.